Good morning, everybody, and the episode will start in 30 seconds. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Just want to start out with apologizing. It's gonna be a little switch of plans, a little change of plans. Unfortunately, Frank Sazak, aka Hard as Nails, is not able to join us today. He had to cancel. He had an emergency that came up, so he's not gonna be able to join us today. Hey, I was really looking forward to having a conversation with him. His story is amazing, but he will be available. We're gonna reschedule, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks, hopefully he will be able to join me, and we'll be able to go live with him. Because again, the guy has an amazing story. Have a few announcements before we get started. The Hustle Hub and Legworks promotion will be at Arlington Merch and Mix, giving live media International Men's Day celebration from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if you are in the DFW area, join in and help celebrate men today. This month is Men's Mental Health Month. So, hey, if you're in the area, our Hustle Hub founder Alexis will be there. Legworks Promotion founder Roby, who is a founding member of our group as well, he will be there. So join on in. This Wednesday, the Notary Hustle show hosted by Tekara and myself, we will be having a Thanksgiving special episode. We're gonna be interacting with the viewers. We're gonna have some fun stuff. We're gonna have some question Q&As and some trivia stuff. So hopefully you guys could join us for that on December 9th. The Bar Guy's Opinion will be going live. I will be with Santa Claus and the Grinch. Santa Claus and the Grinch. We will be live with me. So parents, make sure that you're gonna have your kids will be watching, and they will have the opportunity to phone in and speak with Santa. Any questions they want. So it'll be fun, and it's free. Listen, it's free because we want to try and make it fun and engaging, and where it's not going to be costly. Because I know sometimes parents pay quite a bit of money to have a call or a letter from Santa. Hey, they're going to be able to see Santa, be able to see the Grinch, and be able to speak to them. Okay, so that's going to be cool. All right, so since it is Men's Mental Health Month, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Most men, for men, I grew up in a Latino home. We're not allowed to cry. Hi, babe. I got Claudia saying, yeah, she's looking for Santa. Hi, Tekara. Thank you for joining us. Listen, for most men, at least growing up in a Latino home, you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to show your emotions. You're supposed to be a man about it. That is so dangerous. And it's one of the reasons why the suicide rates are so high. As a matter of fact, check out these statistics. Men die through suicide almost 4 times more than women. To be exact, 3.9 times more than women. They die by suicide. As a matter of fact, white males count for 69% of the suicides, which is extremely sad. And the numbers are rising year in and year out. As a matter of fact, it actually raised 2.6% from 2021 to 2022. And the stats are not up yet because the year's not over yet. 2023 is not over yet. So supposedly it's on the rise even more for 2023. We need to try. We need to make it easy for men to, not just men, but for anyone to come on out and be able to come forward whenever they're not well mentally. Uh, every, as a matter of fact, every 15 minutes, someone takes their own life. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. And if you think that just because you're a Christian, you cannot suffer from depression, nothing can be further from the truth. Depression does not mean possession by a demon. Okay. Now, if you see somebody crawling up a wall or hanging from the ceiling, then yeah, maybe I would call that possession, and you need higher power to help you out with that. But other than that, depression does exist. Mental health is an issue within our country, within around the world, and within the church. We need to make it easy for people to come forward, especially within the church. If you're a Christian, you're a church, and people do not feel comfortable coming to you with their mental health, or whenever they're feeling down, feeling depressed, feeling sad, feeling heavy, feeling burdened, there's something's wrong with the church. Okay. We're not doing our job as a church. Okay. And it does happen within the church. World-renowned preacher Rick Warren's son, his son took his own life a few years ago. Pastor Jared Wilson took his life 4 years ago. Pastor Darren Patrick took his own life 3 years ago. I mentioned this, my second episode ever. My second episode, I talked about this. Mental health and depression is very, very dear to my heart. And I'm sorry if I get a little emotional. It is very dear to my heart for personal reasons. But we all suffer. We all go through our ups and downs. We all have our ups and downs. And it's okay to talk about it. You might not be able to trust everybody, and I wouldn't either, but you should be able to have a couple people. Okay. And this is not going to be a long episode. So, again, let me share a few quotes. Okay. C.S. Lewis wrote, he passed away years ago. C.S. Lewis wrote, mental pain is less traumatic than physical pain, but it is more common and also more hard to bear. The frequent attempt to conceal mental pain increases the burden. And that makes sense because we're keeping it inside. We're trying to deal with it on our own. It is easier to say my tooth is aching than to say my heart is broken. Again, C.S. Lewis wrote that many years ago. And yeah, and we keep it inside, because especially men, because again, men are not supposed to cry. Men are supposed to be able to deal with things. Men are supposed to be able to handle everything that comes their way. No, not everything. And let me tell you, I've gone through that, where I feel like I need to be able to handle everything in my house. And guess what? What happens? More trouble comes your way when you do that. Okay. Financial burdens. I suck at finances. Hey, I admit it, I suck at finance. My wife is better than that. So guess what? She's handling that now. All right. And guess what? But we're working on it together. In other words, we are working on it together, but she's handling the finances. Okay. And guess what? That's taking a burden off my shoulders, because, and yeah, there were times where I couldn't sleep at night, and that's bad. That's not good. That's not healthy. And I felt like I had nobody to talk to, believe it or not. And I have men around me, and that's not right. And I do have men around me that I could talk to. I have my pastors. I have friends from Florida. I have friends here in Texas. All right. So it's important you talk about it. Dan Reynolds wrote, people who have never dealt with depression think it's just being sad or being in a bad mood. That's not what depression is for me. It's falling into a state of grayness and numbness. And that can escalate when you don't talk about it. That can escalate to even further darkness and further depression, where you feel there's no way out except death. And that's where suicide comes in. And we want to avoid that at all costs. J.D. Salinger said, It was against my principles and all, but I was feeling so depressed, I didn't even think. That's the whole trouble. When you're feeling very depressed, you can't even think. And that is when you're feeling depressed and you can't even think, you need somebody to help you gather your thoughts, help you get back to where you need to be. Okay. And sometimes you've fallen so deep into depression, you need professional help. And hey, guess what? It's okay to get professional help. Okay. Um, Last quote I want to share. Um, Jeffrey Eugenides said, "Depression is like a bruise that never goes away. A bruise in your mind. You just got to be careful not to touch it when it hurts. It's always there, though." And I'm not to touch it is that I'm going to disagree with that quote. You have to touch it. You have to touch it. And sometimes you either you have to talk about it, and sometimes you even need medication, and that's okay as well. Okay. You also need to know that you have a loving father who loves you. You have a loving father who loves you. I want to go to Psalms 23:4, and it says, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you, God, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. God is there to comfort you. God is there to love you. God is there to hold you. Okay? Matthew 11:28. Let's go to Matthew 11:28. Real quick. Matthew 11:28. All right. Sorry, folks. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden," or heavy burden is another version, "and I will give you rest." This is Jesus talking. You could come to him, speak to him, pray to him. He will comfort you as well. So, two things we could do: go to somebody around you, and also make sure you speak to God himself. God is always there. God is always available. Another suggestion: make sure that you are busy. Find hobbies that can help you. Find hobbies that make you happy, that make you that will give you peace. There's cooking, gardening, art, reading, music, photography, writing, dance, hiking, journaling, yoga. Many listen. That's another. Many Christians are against yoga. I don't have a problem with yoga as long as you're not worshiping anything other than God. Yoga is very relaxing. Playing music. If you're a musician, play music. Play the piano. Uh, Pottery, sculpting, even exercising or swimming. In my case, I don't like exercising, but I like playing basketball. Basketball to me is very peaceful. And listen, and sometimes music. If you're a Christian, playing some worship music and worshiping God will give you peace. Guys, if you are suffering from depression, if you are in a slump right now, make sure you seek help. In the comments, there will be and in the description there will be phone numbers that you could reach out to. Um, there's going to be a hotline that I'm going to share. Okay, among the other information for the stuff that I spoke about in the introduction. God bless you guys. I hope God brings peace to your hearts if you are going through any depression or anything. And again, I hope to have Frank Sazek in on the show within a couple weeks. Next week, I will have actor Mag Chop Kenny Ruiz in the house. He will be here with me. Well, through StreamYard, through the screen, but he will be on the show with me. God bless you guys. Have a great and blessed Saturday.